your pool tight and tense, this is the tournament for you.
He's missed it by a mile. We are seeing all kinds of mistakes when the pressure is on.
The quarterfinals beckon. There's the 9 going in. Bingo.
This is turning into a classic.
You cannot write that script. What a comeback!
Welcome to Leicester, home to the World Cup of Pool, where it's quarter-finals time. 2 teams have staked their claim to a place in the semi-finals, with 4 more waiting in the wings. 2 quarter-finals down and 2 more to go in the Morningside Arena. Here's a reminder of the story so far.
It's a race to 9. Pretty convincing start from the title holders. 1-0. We're all tied up here at the Morningside Arena. Golden! Just golden! Rack number 13 was unlucky for the Chinese. Their crown rests very uneasily. Giving it a fist pump. Now Mark Beesterbosch does the same thing. They've toppled the mighty Chinese.
It's all Canada at the moment. Philippines struggling. It's tied at 4-4. Canada back under the pressure now. Shot, 9 balls close, but the cue ball.
Oh my.
Oh, that is heartache. I think it's good night, Team Canada. That's the match. Philippines advance to the semi-finals. Philippines 9, Canada 5.
2 matches concluded and 1 semi-final lineup complete. The Dutch and the Filipinos making the most of the same winning margin. The Netherlands winning 9-5 against China, the Philippines beating Canada by the same score. The outstanding issues about to be resolved include Austria and Greece, that match coming up, and then finally Spain against the hosts, Great Britain A. Austria have enjoyed the perfect start, winning the opening 3 racks. This is now the 4th in this race to 9. Commentary from Carl Boyes and Phil Yates.
Clinical pool so far. But of course, we've not really seen much of Greece, have we? Because this can be the nature of our sport. Good news is, doesn't look like there's an obvious pot.
Well, I've mentioned this story a couple of times already this week, so if you've heard it already, I apologise in advance for repetition, but I think it's worth emphasising just how cruel pool can be. When Wu Chia-ching won a late match in the US Open against Wang Can, Wang did not pot a single ball. Wu won 11-0.
Mario He is hitting the ball as good as anybody in this tournament. I can't recall a mistake from the man.
Well, this is really interesting, you know. Greece broke dry in the 1st and the 3rd racks, lost them as a direct consequence of that. In the 2nd rack, Auschen laid a really good snooker on the 2. That gave Austria the chance to win that one. I'm just wondering whether this snooker will yield the chance they're looking for in the 4th.
Yeah, you see Alex just aiming roughly there, but he's got to play this with loads of spin. So it bites and it's not enough spin.
Ow.
So Greece, 2 drive breaks and 2 kick shots. That's all they've done so far. And you see, just need a bit more spin or swerve.
Well, by providing that angle, I think it's quite easy for he to float the cue ball past the 9. Up for the 2, up for the 3, which is in close proximity to the 4. Looking good again for them.
Yeah, it's looking very good. Again, that looks pretty good position for Albin. Maybe a little straight because he's just bent down to have a look at the angle. Key shot is making sure you get a nice angle on that 6. Needs it to run a little bit, so yeah, that's fine. Mario can just draw the cue ball over to the left with a bit of left-hand spin.
Austria are 2 top players, and the mentality of leading players in all sport is to be ruthless. They will be enjoying this. They'll be trying to grind the Greeks down to dust.
Yeah, and the other thing is they know they're on a bit of a mission here, don't they? There's been no mistakes, it's been clinical, and you want to try and keep that up because it's a good feeling. You get a buzz from doing this. Just see Mario bend down, looking down the line of that 8 to see if it passes the 9. So, all depends on where Alvin puts the cue ball, of course, on this next shot. He feels like it's bounced off. It's very hot in here, of course. One of the hottest days of the year.
Extension called.
A 30-second shock lock in operation. Each team can take one 30-second extension per rack, and when you've got them available, why not use them? Just needed that extra time to gather his thoughts and put everything into this one.
Well, of course, the 7 doesn't wobble in, it goes in the heart of the pocket. Another fantastic shot from Mario He.
He's on form.
He is on form.
Welcome back to the quarter-final between Austria and Greece. Austria have dominated the early stages, winning the opening 4 racks. This is now the 5th. Commentary from Carl Boyes and Phil Yates.
Well, can he pot this 3 ball? Even if he can, it's brutal. You're 4-0 down in a quarter-final of a major pool tournament, and you just can't get a go, can you? As I said, if you can see this 3 ball, this is brutal for your first shot. I believe Kazakis has had a kick shot on the blue too, and a break shot, Phil. Don't recall him having another shot, to be honest.
Well, at least they've potted some balls now, albeit off the break.
Yeah, that camera angle tells us it possibly does go, but it's very difficult to tell unless he stood in Alex's shoes. Has to be said, that is a brilliant shot under the circumstances. It really is.
Yes, the Greeks were cold, as Carl said from his vast experience. He knows when you've not had a shot like that and you have to try and pot a ball of such difficulty, it's really tough.
Them middles again, you've got to be so precise. And there you see Alex Kazakis high-fiving his partner. reassuring him that was a difficult shot. There you see, look at this angle, just pushes it onto the far jaw and it just stays up. It looked good, didn't it, there from the overhead?
That could have hung as well.
Well, I think we all know who's going to be playing this shot. Of course, when a team comes to the table for the very first time, you can choose which player you want to shoot the shot. That's good doubles play, that, Phil. I'm not saying that not a lot of the other teams wouldn't do it, but it still is good doubles play. There's a lot of egos in the teams, and it's very easy to say, well, I want to knock it in, or let me shoot it, but you know, Albin knows his partner is queuing like a dream, so he's happy to watch him and just say, you go ahead, son.
But it is alternate shot, and so Ashen has to take on this testing green, the 6 ball.
Yeah, and he's missed a few, but if he can knock this in, it's a confidence boost. And it's gone in the heart of the pocket. How's your cue ball? Looks good. I know it's going to be near the rail, but can he just float this in and bump into the 8 or miss the 8? He's got down quick.
He's a really good floater. He's shown that already in this match. Can play heavy pace, pocket pace.
Very nice twist and all, isn't he, Phil? Quite very underrated. Very still on the shot. Nice and compact. Head still.
Well, the way he's potting, is it advisable to try and do too much with this cue ball?
Yeah, it's kind of one of them little shots where you just want a little dink shot. It'll naturally come down. There you go. Does it matter if the cue ball's on the rail when Mario's at the table? Well, it stopped short, and this will really punish Greece now after that little mistake. Turning point, Phil. Mario Hay has cued right across that one. Wow, that's come from nowhere.
That's a shocker in light of the way he played to that point. Extraordinary. Just shows you can take nothing for granted.
Without doubt, he's the most confident man in the room with a cue, and what a mistake. This is a big 9 ball.
I'd already written down 5-0. In reality, it's 4-1. Mario He feeling pretty bad. Only mistake he's made in the entire match. And boy, what a howler it was.
Greece, having secured a rack, looked to the 6th to close the gap. Austria broke, the table failed to offer anything, forcing the push out. Both teams then stumbled before Austria seized the chance and extended their lead once again.
Nice break there from Kazakis, but when it rains, it pours.
And bear in mind, in racks 1 and 3, they broke dry. This department of the game, for them in this match call, is being decidedly unkind.
Yeah, and in 9-ball pool, as ruthless as it might sound, you have to take all your chances, and Obviously, you're not going to always do that, but that last rack,
Push out call.
you kind of had Austria on a little bit of, you know, a possible momentum ropes type thing, because Mario had missed that 9 ball, and the very next rack, Greece had ball in hand and couldn't convert. Yeah, I think they'll be passing this back. I don't even really know where he's going to jump to. Is he going to try and maybe pop the 5 ball? But it's all very low percentage, this. Possibly come off the edge of the 1 and try and get it down table and keep the cue ball up here. I'm not so sure. So he's tried to pop the 5, he's executed it to perfection. As the 1 ball sat on the blue too, so you can't pot it. Alex Kazaki's face is telling me a story. You can never be sure where the balls are going to go. Of course, he's played a wonderful shot to pot the 5. So he's not playing the pot because the pot doesn't go. Yeah, good shot, Alex.
Extension called.
Often pool players come off a couple of rails and you see him pot these type of shots, or certainly create distance. Yeah, good shot there. That's all you can do, just try and get a good contact. And just don't give up ball in hand. Now you would expect Austria to be in a lot of trouble here, Phil.
Yes, an absolute slew of balls to hide behind. As it is, he's tucked in directly behind the 7. And this is trouble.
He's playing it with left check to it before the middle. And great shot there from Mario. He's had to soft draw that with left spin to create an angle that wasn't there. Nice shot. There you see left spin, just checks it up before the middle.
Yes, and although the 1 has been left, the 2 is in a congested area of the table.
So other than the missed 9 ball from Mario, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Now it's Kazakis' turn to miss the ball in the middle. We've seen that earlier from Nick Malai.
Yes, and don't forget Kazakis also missed a tricky 3 ball in rack 6. When your opponents are playing as well as Austria are, those kind of mistakes are going to be punished far more often than not.
Look at this for a shot. Look at this. Look at this for a shot. How do you like that, Malvin Ocean? What a shot.
Well, you've heard of Ocean's 11. That was Ocean's 10. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. What a shot that was. Put it on the highlight reel. That was up there with Fabio Petroni's extraordinary effort for Italy earlier in the week.
I mean, of course, when you play that type of shot, you need a little bit of lady luck when you're knocking them out, but to pot it and see the vision and get the cue ball all the way up and back down. Amazing. So when Nick Millar missed that 4 ball, Austria punished him. And you would think Kazakis is going to get punished for his missed ball in this side. Needs to miss the stack. Stack meaning the 2 balls together in the pack where we rack the balls. And he has done, but it's a little thin one. So it's not over just yet. There's a little bit of work to do on this shot.
Well, after he missed the 9 ball in rack 5, I'm saying nothing until every ball is potted. That was a virtual gimme.
Mario's trying to play the cue ball off 3 rails. 1, 2. Needs spin on this, also hooked. Full ball contact works. A full ball contact works. So that's good, that's in good position. A little bit fortunate because he wasn't playing to it the 9, but he was trying to get through the gap. Now Albin can just play this with a hair of right and spin and kill the cue ball off this rail. Well, he didn't play it with spin and he's run a little bit too far. You always want to be low on the 8 ball there because now Mario's got to judge a little cannon. Not only have you got to pot the ball, you've just got to think about how the cue ball connects the 9 ball. Usually if you play a little stun shot and just come across the face of the 9, it works out well.
Fittingly, Ocean potted the 9 ball there because it was an absolutely incredible 1 ball with position attached on the 2 that flung open the door for Austria.
Welcome back to the World Cup of Pool from the Morningside Arena in Leicester, where Austria are on course for a place in the semi-finals. It's a race to 9 and they lead Greece 6-1. The 2 dry breaks have proved costly for Greece. This is now the 8th rack. Commentary from Carl Boys and Phil Yates.
Wonderful break. 1 ball vanishes. And look at this. Is the 4 ball going to spoil the party? I don't think it is. And this is a very, very useful layout.
Just looking at last year's results, there was a 9-1 victory in the quarterfinals, and it was astonishing to everyone who was there. China B defeated the Philippines 9-1. So you can have the runaways, there's no doubt about it. If the Philippines can get trounced, anyone can.
Quick glance at the table, there's no real issues here, just a case of controlling the cue ball. 5-6. Could play a key part. Yeah, he's just looking if he can leave the cue ball in a similar path to where it is now. You might have to spin this down off 2 rails and come underneath the 5.
Extension called.
Anywhere around there after the shot would be lovely. just run on that a little bit more, so the natural angle's kind of gone now, where he could have spun the cue ball round the 3 rails. Viv has gone down low because, of course, if Albin's clothing attire touches the 6, it's a foul. So she's keeping a beady eye on that one, Phil.
He was off balance, he was stretching, he was trying to apply lots of side. The side didn't take, hence the full ball contact with the 9, hence loss of position on the 6.
Yeah, Mario didn't quite get him in perfect position, but on these TV tables, the shot he's attempted is very difficult. Maybe he should have punched it with loads of left and tried to create a better angle. Mario might be attempting this shot. He has. Good effort. Is it going to go behind the 9? Is it going to go behind the 9? It is going to go behind the 9.
Well, clearly after that, the pool gods have forgotten his missed 9 ball. Tried to manoeuvre it in with the running side. And where the cue ball came to rest, just heartbreaking for Greece.
Interesting shot here. Can he reach it, or does he have to play the dart shot? No, we've not seen a dart jump shot yet. Here we go. Kazakis is playing the dart jump shot. Just watch how he holds the cue. No, he's trying to reach it, so he's not playing the dart jump shot. You would think potting the 6 is easy. He's getting on the 7.
Yes, these guys are so good at jumping. We really thought the 6 was going to go into the pocket. As Carl said, though, it was all about position.
Now he's got an opportunity here. He can send this 7 ball all the way down the table. Cue ball's naturally coming over towards this 8. Just put your 7, and he's missed it. I'm sat right behind it. Hit the rail too far up. Wasn't easy there, and it's not easy when you're 6-1 down, let me tell you. And this is not easy as well, Phil. Good thing is, I know I keep harping on about natural angles, but if you pop this 7, cue ball, you know, comes over to this side, so Albin will just focus on trying to pop the 7 here because he knows cue ball's coming over. Great shot, Albin Ocean.
Wasn't it just the shot of a cool customer? And he is definitely that.
Yeah, and if you look where the 8 is now, Mario can play a soft stun shot and leave Albin the 9 into this bottom left corner. The beauty of playing this shot now is you don't have to do anything with the cue ball, so you can hit it soft. Yeah, you see how it just caught the rail a little bit? Because he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball, it was always going to fall in the pocket, so it took that little bit of pressure off Mario's back arm.
This is, so far at least, bucking the trend in a tournament of so many tight finishes.
At last, Greece have got a pot off the break. But it's at 7-1 down. I think he's just trying to spin this in between the 5, the orange 5 and the brown 7. So he can put a good stroke on this, yeah. Needs to miss the 4 ball. And he has done. That's lovely. That is lovely. Could not put that better with your hand. Alex has got to play a small little cannoneer on the 6. Again, that's fine. Main object for Greece would be to try and keep your opponent off the hill. The longer they can keep them on 7, the better, but of course in alternate break format you're going to need a little bit of luck.
That's right, when it's winner's break you can put together a sustained fight back. You can in alternate break, but the odds are stacked against it. Well, at least that's a small light in a really dark tunnel.
Welcome back to the World Cup of Pool, where costly mistakes by Greece have given Austria the perfect opportunity to seize a place in the semi-finals. Going into the break, they lead 7-1. Greece pulled 1 rack back at 7-2. Austria, though, are just 2 away. This is now the 10th.
So they've made a ball, but as you can see, I don't think this 2-ball passes the 6. And it certainly doesn't look like it passes the 7, so...
A recurring theme throughout the week, with very few exceptions, is that
Extension called.
matches have been hard to put away. Greece will be aware of that. They will know that Austria still have work to do.
Yeah, I think the difference with that is, though, I mean, Austria, they're such a good team and so clinical, and I think certainly yesterday a lot of the teams that went through could have easily lost, other than the Philippines-Albania match, which was very high standard. Is he playing the 9-ball? No, I thought. Oh, he's played the carom. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on then. Thought he was playing some kind of crazy Chris Melling shot there.
Well, looking at that, had he caught the 2 just a little thinner, I think it might have squeezed past the 7, but there was a minuscule amount of pocket for it to go into, so it was a low percentage, certainly.
Yeah, this is an interesting shot. 3-ball, he's all the way up top end of the table and he's dead straight. So how do you get from down here up to that 3-ball? Is he looking at trying to just go the rail first with loads of spin and draw it back? Got to be careful you don't hit the 7 off the contact. That's the problem, because you're not going to get up table. Now, does Nick Malay have a shot on this? Can he chop this 3-ball in? I suppose even if he can, how do you get on the 4-ball? So, big problems here in this rack for Greece. That was always going to be the problem. You can pot your ball, but how do you get on the next one? Well, we're striding around the table pretty quick, so that usually tells me they've seen something. Yeah, he's just played safe. Good 4-ball there. Wasn't easy to get the cue ball behind the 7, but priority is to get a safe 4-ball. This looks a great effort, it really does. You often see that type of shot where you try and get both balls on the same rail when there's a blocker, but you've no room for error. Straight away, Nick Millar gets the jump cue, but I suppose if you do pop this, you're going to be on the 5, but that ball there is just hampering him. That brown 7 is just making this awkward. So it was a good hit, but they're going to have left this unless it runs behind that 7. I don't think it has, and it hasn't.
No, I'm down the line of that shot. There's enough, ample in fact, for the 4 to be potted.
That works out pretty good for Austria. This is a case of just potting a few balls now and you'll be on the hill. If you pot this, you're on the hill, Mario. Yep, now he's got a natural angle just to float over for that 7, and the 8 ball's over the middle, or it can go long, and the 9's just sat waiting pretty.
Doing all of the necessary checks, even though in practice this would be a certainty. They could do this almost blindfolded in practice, but in a match, anything's missable, as we've seen already. Well, this is even easier than the 9-ball he missed. Just putting that out there.
Is this the commentator's curse?
No, lightning does not strike twice. Austria, 8-2 ahead. He laid a telling snooker. They got the chance, took it, as they've done all night, with one glaring exception. They need one more rack to reach the semi-finals.
The brake's working now, unless this 8-ball comes and lands in front of this blue 2. Would you look at that? Unbelievable, comes from nowhere and stops the 2-ball going in the pocket.
And isn't that symptomatic of the Greek evening in general? Looked like an absolute roadmap, and then it's a roadblock.
Extension called.
Could he possibly get enough side on this to maybe hit the 2 in such a way he could leave the cue ball behind the 3?
Yeah, that's what they'll be trying. Main aim is to try and get that 2 ball travelling before the middle, off the left rail, and then just try and get it up to the top. There you see he's not got the 2 ball before the left middle. It went too near the corner, and that's what can happen. You can stick it up. So Greece might not have had a shot on the 2 ball, but they played a telling safety. Needs to slow down. He's overhit this by a long way. And now Nick Malay's got a little tester in the right middle pocket. It's understandable there from Kazakis. You're 8-2 down, nothing's really gone your way, and Austria have played flawless.
Extension called.
We know how tight these middles are, Phil.
And that seemed to be not the best contact between cue ball and object ball. And when that's the case, whether it's a skid or a kick, whatever your terminology, they do tend to throw thick.
Albin Ocean has played pretty good in this match. First 2 matches, we've seen a little bit of a wobble from him, didn't we? And that was like what he did in the first 2 matches, and surely that's not going to revive some form of comeback for the Greek pair, is it? Needs to miss the 9. And he hasn't missed the 9, so first shot's gone wrong for Greece.
Understandable, but there's an air of resignation to me about the Greeks, particularly about Kazakis.
What a pot that was from Nick Malay. Of course, he was chasing the 9 ball as well. It was like a bit of a 2-wayer. Look at that.
Had he scratched on that, I think they might as well have shook hands.
Yeah, I don't think the bank was ever on. And I think you're right, Phil. I think it's a sign of our time is done in this year's World Cup of Pool. Albin's okay here. He can just play a force stun shot with left and spin this round, or he can top it and come up the table to play the 8 in the top left pocket, and that's the option he's chose. Would like this to run on a bit. Yeah, that's perfect. It's ended up perfect as that, so.
Yeah, I think at this stage, just keep it simple. Get over the line and then start planning for tomorrow.
Yeah, of course, it looks like Austria are going to book their place into the semi-finals, and they will be playing the winner of the next match, Great Britain versus Spain.
The Greeks have missed a few. They've not broken too well, particularly in the early stages. Austria, though, very good value for this resounding victory. There it is. 9 frames to 2. 9 racks to 2. The Greeks were on the rack for most of that contest. Albin Auschen and Mario He, the World Cup specialists, doing the business again.
The semi-final lineup confirmed for 3 teams. The latest edition, Austria, with that emphatic win over Greece. The Netherlands will face the Philippines, leaving us one outstanding issue to be decided between Spain and Great Britain A. That's the next match in the 2019 World Cup of Pool.